Hello, my name is Christine and I run a vintage shop called Prima Treasures on Etsy. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Grannycore. For those who aren't sure what it is, it's basically decor and home items that remind us of our grandmothers. I think there are probably different interpretations of that look depending on where you grew up, where you lived, because, in different parts of the country, grannies probably had different design styles. I think in the South, more rustic influences creep in, that type of thing. But, it seems to be pretty generally speaking, anything that is kind of fussy looking. And I've brought some things here that I think probably fall within that category. So what I wanted to talk about specifically is, if granny isn't really your look, but maybe you're kind of curious or you just want to play around with a little bit, I wanted to talk about ways that you could incorporate, let's say, some minor touches of Grannycore into what you've already got going on. So the things that I brought here are what I would consider to be small items, accent pieces. They don't necessarily define the look of your room, but they can bring, a little touch of something different or something new to what you've already got. So what we have here in the front is a small candy dish. It's just an open bowl, and then you would put whatever kind of candies you think, either something that you think enhances the decor in your room, or, just candy that you like that you want to have available to guests. I think there's two different ways to go on that. So a small candy dish like this would probably be one way that you could bring in a bit of a granny aesthetic without it being too jarring in your room. And the reason I brought this one specifically is because it actually covers a different sort of design style that we would call kind of a cross-interest thing, and that is, this is actually made by Belique, and it's Irish porcelain. So if you're somebody who's a fan of Belique, or you just want to honor your Irish heritage, this is a way that you could do that and still kind of bring in the Grannycore look to your room. So that was another thing I did want to touch on, is that Grannycore can incorporate other types of things if you want to keep it tied in some way. And so that also leads me to this other piece I pulled out, which is, this is just like a little serving bowl or soup bowl from a dinnerware set. And on the surface, it does have kind of that Grannycore look because it's made of porcelain. It's got gold trim on the edge right here, so it's kind of fancy. The design looks very delicate and detailed, but the reason I wanted to highlight this piece is because, unlike a lot of things we associate with Grannycore being, flowers, certain colors, definitely looking kind of girly, this one is designed with a leaf pattern. So you can see that there's no actual flowers on here. There's just little stalks of wheat, this is a leaf here, and then you just got different fronds and greenery on it, but no actual flowers. So if you're somebody who's not into flowers and don't really want florals in your decor, this could be a way to kind of dip your toe into the granny chic vibe without actually going all the way in on something that's covered in flowers. Speaking of flowers, that's the reason I brought this piece out, and I think this kind of represents that sort of classic look that you think of when you think of grannies. And so what we've got here is, again, a teacup and saucer, but it's got pink roses on it. It looks very delicate and effeminate. And the thing I think that you could consider, if you, again, don't want to go real deep into the look and you just want to kind of play around with it, I like the idea of teacup and saucer as something that you could just get one of and use it on occasion, see how you feel about it, and if it turns out that it doesn't grow on you, then no harm done. You've just got the one piece. And another thing that you can do with teacups and saucers and these are plentiful at any thrift store you might go to. You're going to see stuff like this, is you can mix and match and get different sets of them. So you could get one like this, you could get one that matches a design like that, you could get one that's more plain, and that way if you have several different looks, then that gives you an opportunity to kind of try different things and see which ones click with you. So I think of teacup and saucer as kind of a low stakes way to kind of, try this out and see how you feel about it before you commit to, say, a full set of dishes or whatever else it is you might be considering. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is right here we have this ceramic swan planter, and again, it's got the gold trim on it. It's got the pink and purple flowers. It definitely, evokes that grandma spirit. And a plant pot or a vase is another way that you can just pick a small accent piece and try it out, see if you like it, but you haven't made a huge commitment. So this is just a few ideas I had for ways that people can experiment with the Grannycore vibe without necessarily transforming their whole room or, doing anything that, might feel overboard. So I hope you learned something today and give you something to consider, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.